this lesson. All right, so today we are talking about Booleans. So it's question time. Questions like, do you like pizza? Is the sky blue? Is it raining right now? Let's go one by one. Do you guys like pizza?
True.
True. So I'm seeing some yes. I hear, yeah, we like pizza. All right. Is the sky blue?
Not right now.
Not right now, but usually, right? And so sometimes it is rain, sometimes it is blue, or the sky is blue. Is it raining right now?
Ashes.
So ashes, sure. So it's not raining where we are, but sometimes it is raining where we are. It's probably raining somewhere in the world, right? So we already kind of answered this next question. What are some ways we could answer these besides yes or no? We said sometimes, we said not where we are right now, we said kind of or not, yeah. So there are a variety of other answers we could give besides just yes or no, right? What are some drawbacks of allowing questions to be answered this way? Letting more than just yes or no be an answer. Why might that not be good? It's harder to organize and handle data, absolutely. It just makes things more complicated for sure. So it adds a lot of gray area, right? We don't really know where to sort information that says maybe or sometimes or not where I am right now. So with things like that, it makes our data a lot more difficult to understand. So why is it sometimes helpful to only have two options, yes and no? Why would we want that? Mostly just because it's simpler, absolutely. Because we have a definitive answer, whether it's yes or no, we know for sure it's one of those two values, yes or no. It's expressed in a single bit, absolutely awesome. So let's talk about what does it mean for a statement to be true? What is that? What qualities does something need to have to be true?
The statement has to be correct.
The statement has to be correct. You have to be able to verify that it's correct. So absolutely, we know that a statement is true when it is verifiably correct. How about a false statement? How do I know a statement's false? Can a statement that is true be false? Is that possible?
No.
It is not. So our easiest way to define false right now is just to say it's not true. For a statement that is not true must be false. All right, so with that in mind, let's talk about Booleans in our programming. So Boolean values in programming in just about any language can store one of two values. They can either be true or they can be false. You can think of them as the answer to a yes or no question. Yes, never mind. Let me go to my next slide and clarify. So real life Booleans, we have our yes and no answers. Do you like pizza? Yes. Is it raining outside? No. So we could make a variable to store each of those pieces of information. I could say a variable like pizza. Do I like pizza? If I said yes, I would say true. I would equal the value true. If it is not raining outside, my variable raining outside is going to equal false. Notice here, not right click, neither true nor false here is in quotes. So it's not a string, it's a completely separate value type. This is the Boolean value type, true and false. Notice also that the first letter of each of those words is capitalized. In Python specifically, true and false have their first letter capitalized. Other languages might not have that first letter be capitalized. It really depends on the language. But for the language we're talking about here right now, Python uses capital T, capital F, true and false. Keep on right-clicking by accident. If I have a Boolean variable, I can print it all by itself with absolutely no problem. Just like I could with any other variable, I can print them all by themselves and there's no issue. If I want to concatenate a Boolean variable with a string, I need to typecast that Boolean variable to string. So if I have my same like pizza and is raining variables equaling true and false, I could say I like pizza and print the variable like pizza, and it'll just print the value true. And if I print it is raining and I want to print my value for is raining right after it, I'm going to need to typecast is raining to a string, and then I can concatenate it. Does that make sense? All right, so let's say I want to typecast a value as a Boolean. If I want to do that, I need to use the bool function. So let's do some guesswork. If you've taken my intro class, you might know the answer to this already. What do we think bool of the string true is going to equal? And we do have a lowercase t here, so maybe that'll play into it. What do we think that is going to equal?
Error.
All right, we have a guess for error. What else do we think this could equal? Is it possible this could equal false? Is it possible this could equal true? All right, so seeing some nods for true. I didn't see any nods for false. So this one's either going to equal an error or true. What if I try to turn false into a Boolean? What am I going to get here? Keep in mind that I can't see chat. So if you're typing in chat, I cannot see it right now.
True.
All right. We're guessing true. Anyone want to guess any other guess? Do we think we could get false from this? All right. And then our last one, what do we think we will get if we typecast an empty string as a Boolean?
False.
All right, here we think we will get false. Any other? You all agree with false? All right. And our answers, our guesses were correct. So the way that Python handles this is if there is any value at all inside of my quotes, if there's anything at all, then that string will evaluate to true. So it doesn't matter what is inside those quotes, as long as there is a value, my string is going to equal true. The only way I can get a string that I've typecast to Boolean to equal false is by having literally nothing inside of my quotes. If I have an empty string, that will evaluate to false. All right, with that information in mind, let's do some numbers. What do we think the number 1 is going to translate to?
True.
True. What do we think the number 0 is going to translate to?
False.
False. And then 100?
True.
All right. Did someone say they have a question? All right. All right, so our guesses are absolutely correct. Just like with a string, if you typecast a number to a Boolean, any integer or float variable or value that isn't 0, anything that's not 0 will be true, and anything that is 0, so 0, will be false. That makes sense? Cool. Clear this. Next slide. If I want to turn a Boolean value, so true or false, into a string or an integer, so if I said int of true, I don't want that. If I said int of true, I'm going to always get, exactly 1. And if I turn false into an integer, I will get 0. So in opposition to the previous slide, where if I turn any number into a Boolean, I will get true. If I turn true into a number, I will always get the number 1. And this is a tie-in to how binary works, and we will discuss more about binary later in this semester. And then if I turn a Boolean into a string, I'm pretty much just going to put quotes around it so that I can concatenate it with a regular string value. Any questions about how any of these Booleans work? All right.